this temporarily, and everyone in the city who may have experienced this disruption today. It was a serious threat that we took seriously, and we will always do so to make sure that we can keep our residents and visitors safe. But we're happy to report that there was no credible threat found. At this point, we'll open it up for questions.
Anybody arrested?
No one's arrested. We have some information, some details. We'll be following through with that. We did receive information that it was a number that came from an app on the internet, and we'll be able to follow through on that. It takes time, but detectives have it. So.
Would you classify this as a swatting call? We hear that often.
Correct. At this point, that's what it seems like. And like I said, detectives will investigate further. And if it's anything that we need to follow through with, someone's going to get charged, we'll hold those accountable.
This person called the police?
Correct. They called their communications department, and at that point, the call came in. And like I stated earlier, it was a male who was very agitated, and so we put it up.
Were any items found at all?
No.
Can you speak to these swatting calls? I know they're very frustrating for you as chief and police departments. They take a lot of resources, right?
They do. You're correct, and it's not just Providence. It's all over the nation, as you can see. It's happened in major cities, and the resources are the resources. And when these high-risk calls come in, it's just we immediately have to act on it, because the last thing we want is something to actually occur and not be ready for it. That's what we train for every day. The Providence Police Department is ready to ensure the safety of the city. And as you saw today, we have the resources. We have our mayor who's very supportive, and we have the tools that we need to ensure that the safety is there.
Colonel, around the same time, we saw some tactical teams, large police presence up at Crossroads, Broad Street as well. Was that connected at all? Can you speak to that at all?
Yeah, correct. So, when things like this happen, we investigate, and something came up. We had some info that potentially he came from that area, and a person was looked into, and that's why officers responded to try and locate an individual that we thought was responsible. But that's not correct.
We had heard that there was a person at City Hall yesterday who was agitated. Are these connected?
I'm not sure about that, but I don't think it was. No, it's not.
La comunidad está bien, no hay ningún problema.
No hay ningún problema. Verdaderamente es un incidente de high risk, como dije ahorita, y la policía de Providence está preparada para asegurarnos de que nuestra comunidad esté segura. Y lo que pasó hoy es esas llamadas que muchas veces son falsas.
Chief, is there anything you learned from this response today as an organization, as far as areas for improvement?
There's Mark. No, I'll tell you, I'm very proud of the Providence Police Department. Within minutes, we're able to get the resources we need to ensure the safety of the city. So obviously there's always room for improvement, and if there's anything that the commander of the SWAT team feels that we need to look into, we will. But I'll tell you that we were ready.
Was the garage full at the time? Did you have to clear vehicles?
So the members of the special response unit responded to every floor, checked everything that was supposed to, nothing appeared disturbed or anything, and we also had our K9 unit who specialize on those type of bomb investigations.
But because the call came in through an app, there's really no indication that the caller is even in Rhode Island. Could have come from anywhere.
That's correct.
Any message you want to send to the people who did this?
It's just let them know that it causes chaos, is reckless, is irresponsible. It affects a lot of people. It affects the quality of life of people that are just trying to go about their lives, and it's unfortunate. So to think twice. I mean, they think it's a joke or whatever they think it is, but they will be held accountable if we find out, and we will. We'll investigate it. So.
We saw those several blocks of Washington Street closed down. Can you speak to the perimeter you guys had shut down? How large was it?
Well, it was pretty large, and we had at least a block or so, 2 blocks. And the reason for that is when someone mentions that they have an AR-15, the capacity of those rifles is lethal, and they can reach pretty far distance. So we want to make sure that if that is the case, that we're prepared to ensure that no one's around that could potentially lose their lives.
How long roughly did the response take?
It took about, by the time the call came in and by the time we set up, we were there within 30 minutes, if I'm correct, maybe a little longer. Less than that.
How many locations or employees of the city was affected?
So we evacuated all of City Hall. There were no other city buildings within the immediate area of the threat, so the city employment was City Hall staff, and anybody who works or happened to be doing business in City Hall was evacuated eventually to Kennedy Plaza, and city staff were sent home Those who were able to go home were sent home. Conversely, those folks who needed to retrieve items from the building were not allowed back into City Hall until City Hall was cleared by Providence Police.
Is Kennedy Plaza reopened?
It is.
Anything else?